Welcome to the Vault Studios NFL podcast, an Australian twist on all things NFL. The boys are cracking into a nice cold beer from Burnley Brewing. Let's join them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, JA, and I am joined, as always, by the great Bucks man himself, Richard Garraway. How are you, boy?
A little disappointed, mate, but I'm well. Those bright lights, we just don't like them.
You don't like the bright lights?
No, neither do the Bucks.
No. Well, look, we will definitely talk Bucks football at the end of the show. I'm glad you're still wearing the hat proud. Said it could be worse. You could have Jameis Winston throwing 30 picks again. So
it could be worse.
Think about it that way. The Saints decided to start a tight end over starting Jameis Winston. That's how good he's going in his career.
I think that tells you all you need to know.
Yes. Let's quickly launch into some sponsors. Obviously, we are always sponsored our beers by Burnley Brewing. Came on board as the full studio sponsor, Richie, just so you're aware. So the fantasy four boys are now drinking the Burnley Brewing during the show as well. So
fantastic.
Big news from Burnley. I was going to have a coffee beer tonight, but I was just saying to you, I have to go to bed early. I got an early start tomorrow morning. And if I had a coffee beer, I'd then have 7 and it would be 4 a.m. and I'd be my pants on my head. So I'm avoiding that. I'll just have some Friday night, maybe.
Probably a good decision.
But thank you very much to Burnley Brewing for all their support. You know, we love you guys and looking forward to getting in there for a beer very soon. Also, Breaking Oz Memorabilia. Everyone knows Victoria's been in lockdown. Postal systems are nuts. So the Gronk helmet hasn't arrived yet. It is on its way. But you've only got next week will be the last opportunity. By next week's show, if you haven't signed up to the Patreon, you will not get into the break for the helmet. So for the first month. So make sure if you want to get a piece of that helmet, and if everyone is a $5, everyone who's a $5 patron already, you may as well upgrade for $5 more a month. And we appreciate you at $5 and feel free to stay. But if you $5 more a month, you get a chance to win, a really good helmet like some of the ones I've got behind me. So get on board, similar to this Gronk helmets like that are going to be going. So make sure you get on board, sign up to Patreon, and thank you to all the boys at Breaking Oz Memorabilia. I did a bit of a deal with one of the owners, Josh, today that I did buy a Saquon Barkley Chrome Giants helmet. Chrome blue, Richie. It's beautiful. The beautiful son of a bitch.
I think you're starting to have a problem, mate.
Well, Richie, as you know, I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble.
That's true.
I don't drink a lot, and if I do, it's free beer. Everyone's got to have their thing. And I figured, well, why can't I collect something?
Yep.
I work hard.
Indeed. I had a bad week on the punt this week, so I can't talk.
So you're knocking eggs. That's what everyone's like to me. You must spend a lot of money on helmets. I'm like, you gamble? They're like, yeah. I said, what'd you lose last week? I don't know, like $200. I said, that's pretty much what I spent that last month on a helmet. So
I didn't drop that. I tell you what I have got back. I'm back into so I'm back with Betfair because I got offered a rich. Well, I like to be able to bet live in game. You get better odds and laying and all the things you can do on Betfair that you can't do on normal bookies. And then they had a bit of a workaround for how you could bet live in games. You just had to hit a button. It did a fake call and you could bet live. They got rid of that because obviously they got challenged on it and it didn't fly. So you still have to ring like all bookmakers. If you want to bet live in a game, you got to phone through.
Yep.
So I see on a message board on Betfair how to get around it. All you have to do is get a VPN, set yourself to New Zealand or the UK, and you just bet live on game again because in those countries you're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So it just has to be a country that allows Betfair, and away you go.
I don't know why Australia do that. What does it matter if you have to call someone?
I don't know.
The phone's going to care. They're going to be like, "Oh no, you shouldn't bet that." Like what?
I'll be honest. I don't understand it either. But it is the legislation. So So if you do want to bet live in game, get yourself a Betfair account. Get a VPN provider. There's many of them. Don't need me to recommend one. And set yourself to New Zealand. It's probably the easiest one. And bet in game. So I was on the Bucks today and I got to lay off in game and save myself some cash.
And if you are going to bet, obviously bet responsibly, but also
always
the responsible way to bet is to use Chip as tips because the bugger is like 70%. Now he had a week off this week because he was away. I gave him a week off. I was like, Chipper, you're cool, mate. You've been nailing it. So have a week off. But if you're going to follow bets, get on Chipper. All my brother and all his mates are big gamblers, all on him. They're like, this is the best thing in the world. So well done, Chipper. I know you listen every week. You're a legend, mate, and keep going. So look out.
A great year.
Yeah,
Exceptional. It'll be hard to match this next year.
Yeah, Sunday mornings it goes up. Get on his bets. He has 5 bets and then a Sunday night multi. So get on him. Hasn't hit a multi yet. He's had 4 of them.
He's been close though. He's been so close.
He only needs one of them. He only needs one of them to go. And so he'll keep doing it. But yeah, keep chipping away. And Betfair, now that we've given you a plug for free, how about, get on board. Give us a code. Give us a code for Chipper's Betting Corner. I don't want to use all the other ones. I want you, Betfair. Because one time we did a Super Bowl party for you with our good friend Chris Brown. It was a great day, Elstradome. And I don't know when I got home, but all I know, I was with Chris Bryan and a couple of the high rollers, and it was enjoyable. It was very fun. They have a lot of money in deep pockets. That's how I'm going to leave it.
Great Super Bowl, that one too.
Great. That was the 28-3.
Sure was.
That was gold.
For
and Chris,
Falcons.
of all the people, we're at halftime. We had to do our little spiel at halftime. And I said, there's no way the Patriots lose this. The Patriots win this. And if they do, if anyone could do it, it's them. And Chris Bryan comes out and goes, Patriots are going to win. He just rolled out. They all loved him. I miss Chris. Chris, if you're listening, mate, love your work. Hopefully catch up with you soon. Let's get into it, though. Let's start with the Miami Dolphins. Rough loss to Denver this week. Tua benched in the game for Fitzmagic. Didn't work out. He was picked off at the end of the game by an outstanding Justin Simmons interception. One of the best I've seen this year. Just wasn't even his coverage. He broke his own coverage because he'd seen the play in film and thought, he's gonna score. I'm just gonna break on it and dove and pick it off. So it was awesome. Denver got a nice win there. Drew Lock carried on. He was just so good in that game. I'm just gonna get his stat line up. How good was he? 207 yards and a pick. Well done, Drew. You fucking moron.
I wouldn't call him names, but
loves himself.
He is not an NFL footballer.
No, I don't think so either. But you know what? Win's a win. And we've just had news not long ago, about an hour ago, I saw it. Tua is benched for this week. Fitzmagic is back in at the starter. And look, I didn't like Tua being the starter in the first place. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. What I do like is that they're obviously treating Tua like an adult and going, you know what, mate? We gave you 3 weeks. You won 3 games. And then the one game we needed you couldn't get it done. And we want someone who can win a game for us. Because anyone can manage a game. Fitzmagic can be a game manager if you tell him to do it, but he can also produce something and score points when you need to. Now, it didn't work out in this game, but I think Brian Flores, what I like about it is he's trying to win. He's sitting in, he's going, you know what? I don't think Tua gives us the best chance to win. So I'm not worried about ruining his confidence. I'm going to treat him like a man and say, sorry, mate, I'm rolling with Fitzmagic because it gives us a better chance to win at the moment. Doesn't mean you're not the future. You're the future of this team. But right now, sit behind him and keep learning. And by the end of the year, who knows? If you start getting hot in practice and he struggles, win your spot back again. I kind of like that.
Yeah, he has sort of set him up to fail a bit. They got the Jets and Cincinnati in the next 2 weeks, which, quite frankly, you or I should be able to win playing quarterback for the Dolphins to get those 2 wins.
They should just run the ball all day. Just hand it off.
Yeah, hand it off. So, Fitzmagic should get 2 wins there, which will make it really hard for Tua to get to potentially get another shot. But maybe that's what they're looking forward towards, saying, okay, we have to win these. There is no way we can afford to drop them. I think although as much as I think playoffs in both divisions are kind of settling, they want to make sure they're going to be in the mix. They got a chance at the division. I think it might be a bridge too far for them, but they're giving it everything. So okay, let's bring Fitzmagic back in and see where they are, because the next 2 games are easy. So they're probably trying to get some games into Fitzmagic, because then they've got the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Raiders. Man, that Raiders team, I can't wait to talk about them. And the Bills. Like that game at the end of the year, that could be the game.
Yeah.
So I can see what they're doing here. They're giving Fitz 2 games against 2 lesser opponents, leading in to the 4 games that matter. If the Dolphins want to matter this year, that's the 4 that count.
Yep, agreed. And I think they shouldn't have lost to Denver. And I think
that
Flores is kind of going, well, if I had Fitzmagic from the start, would have I won? Maybe. I probably had a better chance offensively because you can't just rely on your defense and your special teams making a big play every week to win a game. It's great how people are playing, but you can't rely on it every week.
They were scoring every week, like literally every week. They're getting a defensive or a special teams touchdown.
As we said a couple of weeks ago, we're not at practice. We're not watching Tua. We're not watching Fitzmagic. We have to trust Flores. He made the move last time and he won 3 in a row and he lost one and he feels that this is better. I think Fitzmagic will roll the Jets and the Bengals in the next couple of weeks and they will set themselves up at 8-4 to cruise back for the rest of the season. And at 8-4, you only need 2 more wins in the AFC and you're in, but maybe 1. So,
it's hard because I think like the line is drawn right now. They're tied with the Ravens, and that's the last wild card spot.
Yeah.
So after that, forget everybody else. So for the what do we got? 4 divisions and 3 wild card. So there's 8 teams for 7 spots right now. And
then you've got the Raiders too. So you've got Dolphins.
Sorry, I was counting them as in. You're right. So those wild card spots. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. And one thing I know is they'll certainly win in 2 weeks' time when they play the Bengals because Joe Burrow, horrific injury on the weekend. I haven't seen I think it was a torn ACL.
It is now. So it's originally it was an MCL. Update today, both are gone. MCL, ACL, completely torn, and he's done it in what ordinarily I think is week. We're normally in week 12 at this point of the year, or maybe even 13 because the season got pushed a bit.
Could affect his season next year.
I don't think he's going to play. 2021 could just about be done for them, so they have to go and sign a Fitzmagic type veteran.
Yeah.
Because Burrow's the future. Like, we've seen him. Like, he may still win Rookie of the Year.
This is bad, though. This is
really bad.
Anyway.
So
there's a chance he's never the same. And I hope not. Like, I hope that doesn't happen. But these injuries don't go away for some guys. Like,
no, they don't. So I'd write off 2021. You invested like the number 1 pick in him.
Mm-hmm.
Why even risk it next year? Just get through. Hey, suck again. Go get more talent. Put it around him. You're going to suck this year, so you're probably going to have a top 3 pick. And you could potentially suck again next year with a stopgap type quarterback.
Yep.
And get another top 5 pick. Keep putting talent around him, bring him back in 2022 and see what
they should be doing right now, though, in the offseason. They should be trading AJ Green for any value they can get for him. There is no point around him now.
No. Well, he's got his first touchdown on the weekend in something like 2 years.
Yeah.
No. 100, some ridiculous number of days. I can't remember what it was.
He
hasn't been in the end zone, of course, but still, it hurt. Not playing well, whatever. It's kind of the same thing at his age. So I'd trade him for anything above a 4th rounder at the moment, 4th and up. I'd take it.
Yeah, I reckon give you a 4th for him. Like Emmanuel Sanders, they got a 2nd from Emmanuel Sanders last year at wherever he was. He got traded to the 49ers, wherever he was before that. They got a 2nd for him. So I think you can get it. Look, I just want how freaking unlucky are the Bengals, though? Like, honestly, every year their first round picks get hurt. It's been for like the past 5 years.
All the time.
And now their franchise quarterback that they finally hit on, you're finally looking at him going, yep, this is the dude. This dude could be the best, the next big guy, the next Peyton, the next Brady, the next Breeze, the next Rodgers. This is the guy. And bang. And I'm not saying it will all go away, but it could all go away. Like, we don't know. The way he got hit was a lineman got like rolled into him. That can linger with you. He could come back next year when he's healthy and be in that pocket and just be thinking the whole time, is that guy falling into me? Is he going to roll into my legs?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know how it affects the guy. So, it's horrible. I hope he comes back and is exactly the same guy. And he seems like the kind of kid that mentally will be able to do it because he is very, he's very strong, got a pretty good character, but you just don't know how it affects guys. So Bengals fans, I feel for you. It's dreadful, dreadful news. Let's move on to Taysom Hill and him absolutely shutting up the haters. NFL Twitter was lined up guns in hand, Taysom Hill against the wall, blindfolded, ready to just murder him at the slightest mistake. Now, was he awesome? No. I think he was awesome. He was fine, though. Was he good enough? Yep.
That's what I was going to say.
For his first start ever against a good Atlanta team, like Atlanta team that always comes and plays well near the end of in the back half of the season. That's how coaches keep saying.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, always do. But he was 18 of 23, very efficient, 233 yards. Also led on the ground, 51 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns as well. He scored 2 of their 3 touchdowns. Kamara got the other one. I don't know how you fault him in this moment. And it's his first ever start. Give him a go. It's his first ever start, and he barely plays proper quarterback. Like, I don't imagine he's getting 100 reps at training at quarterback because of all that he's got to do. So he probably got a lot this week. I hope he got a lot this week, and he will get more over the next few weeks. But I think this was a great start, and I want to see how he goes the next few weeks. But the Saints are on 7 in a row. We were just talking before. That division they're a win, maybe 2 off locking that. They're 2 wins off locking that up, in my opinion, because I can't see the Bucks getting 11 wins and jumping them. They might both finish on 10 if the Saints fall apart. But, I think they're going to win that division. And Drew Brees is on IR, so he's got 4 weeks off. Week 15, he's eligible to come back. I think they're just going to ride it out. And his interview afterwards, he had nothing but great things to say about Drew Brees and the way he's helped him and, how he's one of his best friends and just the support he's given him this week. Like, you love to hear that sort of stuff from guys like Drew Brees because you hear a lot of the opposite, unfortunately, in the past.
Well,
so
it's not like there's any controversy here. Like, Brees has got so many broken ribs, it's insane. Apparently, more are broken than not broken at this point.
I thought it was 6 or something. Someone said, I don't know.
Yeah, it does. But either way, he's not healthy. That's
3 games. So say the Saints win the next 3 games though with Drew Brees. Like, you can just be like, all right, Drew, just don't worry. Come back week 17 for a bit of a throw around for the first half, and we'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they've got extremely winnable games. I mean, they got the Broncos and then the Falcons again. Got the Eagles, who, quite frankly, they suck.
Yep, they do.
They do have a tough game with the Chiefs. Thankfully for them, it's at home. Maybe that's with 3 games to go. And then they finish Vikings and Panthers. So, I'm feeling pretty good if I'm the Saints. I'm not super.
There's only 2 division games left, though. That's what I mean. Division games are the ones you split a lot. They're the risky ones. Like, maybe they lose to Atlanta in 2 weeks, maybe. But if they beat Denver and beat Philly, they're home. Like, their division's theirs. And they're just going to try and fight for the seeds now.
Well, as we talked about off air before we started, Tampa being swept by them are as good as done because not only do you have to get more wins, you got to get the extra. You can't even tie. You don't have a tiebreaker. So it's an even steeper mountain to climb. So for mine, look, Taysom Hill should be good enough. He's not throwing for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's just not who he is. But he's going to do enough. They're going to build a game plan that's going to work for him that takes advantage of his strengths. He's obviously extremely good with the ball in his hands, running with it. I have the utmost faith that coaching staff is going to build a game plan to get it done. And really, besides that Chiefs game, they're going to be the favorite in every other game.
Yep.
And let's say they just drop maybe one
winning 4 more. I can see him winning.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So let's say potentially lose to you lose to the Chiefs and accidentally drop one. You probably shouldn't. Win the other 4 and, home and hosed. Number 1 seed.
Agreed. They've also got Alvin Kamara, who's just oh my God. And
they didn't even need him. No, he really didn't do anything on the weekend.
They didn't need to. They just use him when they need to, and he's going to have big games. I've got him in my fantasy. He still scored a touchdown, but also Thomas came back. Like, he's finally starting to look himself a little bit more. He had the 900 yards, 9 targets, 100 yards. So they're getting healthy at the right time. Plus, defensively, they are a really good defense. Cameron Jordan's talked about a lot. Trey Hendrickson, where has this guy come from? He's got 9 sacks this year. I talked to him about a couple of weeks ago. He's just come out of nowhere. Just a real solid pass rusher. Yeah, they've just got guys everywhere, that team. And Very strong on the O-line. I think they're going to be pretty good. 9.5 sacks, he's got, Trey Hendrickson, as a situational pass rusher. You know what? He probably benefits from Cameron Jordan being on the other side, but good on him. Sacks are sacks, in my opinion. Let's move over to the Houston Texans and them ending the Patriots run, Richie. I'm officially, you're hearing this, Richie. I'm going early on you to not let you. I'm forking New England Patriots right down. They are done. 4-6. As you said, there are 4 teams on 6-4 right now, and Denver are in front of them. As much as I would like them to, I don't think they can go on a run. Their defense is terrible. Their passing attack is only good because Cam Newton makes things happen. Their receivers are terrible. They got a good offensive line, but I don't think they're going to win enough games. I really don't. I don't see it happening. I'm forking them now. They're too far behind. Their best chance is winning the division. Their best chance is the Bills falling apart and the Dolphins falling apart and them catching them for the division. That's the best chance they've got, which I don't think is going to happen. Like, Bills are 3.5 games up on them. I don't see it happening in the last 6 games. I don't see them losing all 3 and losing 6 games and the Patriots winning 6. So I'm forking them, Rich. And to the Texans, who aren't a good team, but Deshaun Watson just did whatever he wanted in this game. Whatever he wanted to do. They could not stop what he wanted. Second half, he slowed down a little bit, but and then Cam Newton had a chance to drive down the field and win the game and couldn't, because their receiver talent is minimal. And I think we're seeing what Tom Brady, not necessarily last year, I don't think, but in the past, what Tom Brady's been able to do with mediocre players around him, and how important he was. But like, Damiere Byrd's an absolute breakout player for them at wide receiver, but he's the only guy. Like, N'Keal Harry, have the Patriots ever hit on a first round pick? Ever in their, like, in the career of Bill Belichick, have they ever hit on a first round pick?
I'm gonna say yes, but I'd have to go back and review it.
Not many. I'm telling you right now. You know what? The chickens have come home to roost this year, and we knew it was going to be tough. They had a lot of guys opt out and stuff like that, which I understand, but they also let a lot of players walk in free agency. Like, you let Van Noy walk, you let Jamie Collins walk, Hightower opted out. Like, you let a lot of guys go. You could have bought back someone. It's not like they're strapped for salary cap because their quarterback left, who you're paying all the money. Like, they've got plenty of money. I just don't. At some point, it was going to burn them. They had a great run, but it's over now. This year, it's over. See if they can reboot. My question for you, Rich, is: would you bring back Cam Newton?
I think you kind of have to. Like, they don't trust the backup, or they got to go and get somebody. Yeah, I still think there may be a 49ers and Patriots retrade, I guess you could call it, maybe in the off season. But yeah, I don't know. I think you kind of have to. You don't have a lot of choice, unless he's chasing a really long contract, which I wouldn't be too keen on doing. I think you kind of need to bring him back, because the cupboard's a little bit bare up in New England right now. Like, they need to get more talent in, and they can't. Like, they've got, as you said, they got cap space for next year, which not a lot of clubs do. Now, I expect the cap to come down.
It will.
But still.
How do clubs get under, though, if they're well over? That's what I don't understand.
Well, that's always the risk. Everyone's just used to it going up. You cut people. You got to get under. That's just how it works. You can't only enjoy the salary cap when it's going up.
I'm looking at draft picks. Do you know that in 2003, in the 6th round, the Patriots drafted Cliff Kingsbury?
Did they really? A quarterback out of Texas Tech?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? I just popped up. I'm just looking at their first round picks. They've hit on a lot of first round picks. I'm a dick. They hit on I'll just to name it. I'm only in 2000. I'll go to 2000.
So the last,
99
20 years?
They got Damian Woody, who ended up being a pretty good offensive lineman, also very famous for the butt fumble later in his career.
Yes.
Sanchez cops it, but he was the offensive lineman. They didn't have it. They then took Richard Seymour.
Pretty good.
Pretty handy. Ty Warren.
He went all right.
Then they rolled in with Vince Wilfork the next year.
Had a good season, or 2,
yeah.
or 10.
Logan Mankins, the three-time All-Pro guard. Lawrence Moroney, solid running back, but as all running backs, they fade pretty quick. But he was solid. He certainly wasn't a bad pick. Brandon Merriweather the next year, first round, didn't end up too well. Jared Mayo didn't work out too well. The next one was Devin McCourty, who's very good. They also took Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez that year too. So
third and seventh rounds.
Second Gronkowski and fourth Hernandez.
Second round.
We all know why he fell if you've watched his documentary. And then rolled in to Nate Solder in 2011, who ended up being a starting left tackle for 10 years for them, I believe.
About that.
Next year, they got Chandler Jones and Donta Hightower. I forgot Chandler Jones played for them. Pretty good pick too. Next year, they didn't have a first-round pick, but they took Jamie Collins in the second and Logan Ryan in the third, which has worked out for them. This is where it goes a bit off. They got Dominic.
What year are you up to?
2014. So Dominic.
So they've had outstanding 14 years at this point.
They're pretty good. Pretty good. Dominic Easley didn't work out. Malcolm Brown didn't work out. Then went 2 years without first-round picks. Then they got Isaiah Wynn 2 years ago, who is a pretty good left tackle. Very good. Maybe a Pro Bowler this year. Sonny Michel, running backs. Don't draft running backs in the first round. Learn Patriots. But, hey, probably done it.
It was probably the last pick.
Then N'Keal Harry last year. You know what? All the Patriots fans that are sitting there listening going, you're a dickhead. Yep. Got me. They draft okay in the first round. But N'Keal Harry still sucks, and I stand by that. And let's move on to, you would have thought I'd be the biggest moron on the show tonight, Richie, but in fact I'm not. It is the Tennessee Titans. They are morons, but they are winners. Did you see their antics before the game?
I've seen clips. I haven't seen the whole thing. I just don't care about this stuff.
I'll give you a rundown for everyone out there that might care about it. They held a team meeting with the entire team on the emblem in the middle of the field. First of all, you get given half your field for warm-up. Like, you get half and half. You don't. So they were on the other half, but it was directed. And then afterwards, all turned around and started looking at Harbrow, the coach. Simmons, who's a very good defensive tackle, started like grinding his feet on the logo. Harbrow went over to Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown, is it? Who's the Patriots? The guy that got the pick in the Super Bowl. Whoever that was, I think it's Malcolm Brown. Whoever it was, Malcolm, and he starts mouthing off at him. And then Vrabel comes over. There's a chat. Game goes on. Titans played a great game. Won it in overtime. Baltimore they're in a bit of a weird spot at the moment. Baltimore, but they get the win. No handshake. Harbrow just shrugs him off, and Vrabel.
No, apparently he did after the game.
That was
after the game. Shake hands after the game.
So you're telling me, Richie, that the 4,087,000 cameras that are at an NFL game didn't catch them shaking hands?
No, they've got it after the game. But what happened was he went to shake his hand to bury the hatchet before the game as well. And that's what he waved.
Was that when he waved off? Okay. Yeah. And I think it was more of a we'll shake after sort of thing. Because they asked John Harbrow, and they both downplayed it. I don't like that crap. Like, the Titans aren't tough. No one's buying you tough. Derrick Henry's really tough. He's a really tough and a really good running back. But Mike Vrabel, I'm not giving you any credit for Derrick Henry. You didn't draft him. You had nothing to do with him. You've drafted none of the players on this team that are good. Maybe the wide receiver, AJ Brown, who's really good. But
he's really good.
Tannehill, I'll give you that. But I'm sick of Vrabel's. He's like, you're not Belichick, mate. No one's buying it, and I'm sick of it. I'm so over
Belichick. See, the thing is, Belichick would never do that. So that's why I don't think you can.
He's this fake tough guy, and the difference is that no one goes back at Belichick. When Belichick sits there and goes, "I'm not shaking your hand," no one goes, "I'm not going to start a fight with Belichick." It's Bill Belichick. When he says to the media, "We're on to Cincinnati 50 times," media just go, "Yeah, okay, it's Bill Belichick. I'm just going to move on." Vrabel hasn't done anything yet. He knocked out the Patriots in the playoffs last year. I think he knocked out Baltimore in the playoffs last year too. He won a couple of playoffs games. Yeah, so what? You're going to – that's your claim to fame?
See, I'm the opposite.
Go and win a Super Bowl. Go and do something. That's fine. But until you do it, just be a fucking coach. I don't like that attitude.
First off, I don't like either of the Harbrow brothers. They can stick up their ass. Oh, the butthurt. Oh, they stood on my logo. Who fucking cares?
No,
it's a big deal. No. Stop. You had your point. Stop. I'm having mine now. You had yours.
Go, bro. I'm on a clock.
So you get all this butthurt about it, and then you go and lose. So now it's even worse. If they hadn't made a big deal about it, just ignored it, and just gone on with it, and maybe used it in the rooms, not out in the open, like who cares if they have a team meeting on your fucking logo? Who gives a shit? It's paint on the 50-yard line. Who cares? Now it's a big deal about it, and there's even more attention on your team and your quarterback who isn't playing well. He's not. You and I didn't want to panic at first, but he is not playing well. They got to sort that out. And they've had injuries on both sides of the ball, which doesn't help. But they have a real issue right now, and that's not enough wins. And they've got to sort that out. This shit is a sideshow, and it's all the media. He's getting all these questions about it, and he's going to get it all week. He's going to have to try and bury this as fast as he can.
I think he's buried it now.
You don't need this stuff.
But
Harper was trying to make a big deal about it. If they just walked off and gone, whatever.
They need a win. That's what he needs to do.
They do.
They need to come out this week and win. And they need to win. Who are they playing this week, Baltimore?
They're in a wild card battle now. Like the division is gone, and they're behind the Browns.
I can't believe that. How blessed are the Browns is the Browns run home though? Like honestly, get stuffed. They play the Bengals again.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get to finish last.
Yeah, it's true. You get easy.
Like you get the 2 bunny games, and the rest of it's just a rotation. So it's just luck. Like all the teams this year who get the NFC East.
Yeah.
It's just lucky you got them this year. It just happened to schedule out that way. They play the Steelers this week.
At the Steelers.
It's a short week too. It's the short week. I'm sure it is the late Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, it is. It is 12-20. You know what? I'd put money on the Ravens this week. Go and win it, right? 10-0. Hey, Richie, you reckon the Steelers are going undefeated?
They hate each other, these two teams. No, I don't. This isn't the one they drop.
And they beat Baltimore earlier in the year. Division games are always a split. Well, not always, but they're a chance to split. This would be a Baltimore. If Baltimore want me to come in next week to the show and go, yep, I'm back taking them seriously again. If they lose this week, and I don't care how they lose, whether it's by a point or by 40, if they lose, I'll be forking them next week. They'll be done. They will not keep up in the wildcard race. They just said the Dolphins have got 2 easy beats. The Browns have got an easy run home because I think they get to play Cincinnati and the Patriots again.
No. You ready? I'll give it to you. Well, they don't get to play the Patriots twice ever.
What am I talking about?
So here it is. You ready?
Yeah.
Jags, Titans, Ravens, Giants, Jets, Steelers. That's the Browns run home.
Yeah. So the Baltimore. Show us what you got this week. Now's your time.
They need to win. They
need to win. And I just say, the Titans, I don't like that rah-rah shit, Richie. And I don't like that Vrabel encourages it. There's no need. If you can't get up for a football, if you need to carry on like a moron to get up for, and we've been in plenty of locker rooms, Richie, where there's always the idiot out there 40 minutes early with his Beats by Ray on. Beats by Dre, sorry. That is dreadful. He's Beats by Ray on. Beats by Dre on. Running laps. It's because I always say it. It's just become what it is now, Richie. He's Beats by Dre on running laps, warming up for 45 minutes before everyone. I just sit there watching him going, I guarantee you this dude's not a good player. That's what I think they were kind of on that line. The Titans don't need to do that. As I said, they've got lots of good football players. They're a good football team. They don't need to carry on like that. Just go and win, which is what they did. Just do it without the morons. Speaking of winning, the Cowboys, they're back, Richie. They are winning the Super Bowl. I'm on them. I shouldn't have forked them. Can I unfork them, Rich? They're back.
No, that's not how it works.
Carves up the red-hot Minnesota Vikings. What a performance by the Ginger Ninja. He was just outstanding. 3 touchdowns, game-winning drive. But with all seriousness, they're not winning a Super Bowl. No one from the East is winning a Super Bowl. They've just played themselves back into contention. They're now half a game behind the Eagles, and they play Washington on Thanksgiving this week. Cowboys are very good on Thanksgiving. Dalton gives them a different level of quarterback.
What a surprise.
He's a bit better than Nucci and Garrett Gilbert. But he's solid. And can we just discuss CD Lamb?
Dude, what have I been telling you all year?
Yeah. No, I still think Amari Cooper's the best receiver on our team. He's still wrong. Have you seen his route running though? Amari, they're all very good. The Cowboys are blessed with a very good receiving group. And you're right, CD Lamb could very well be the best. Michael Gallup, people could make an argument for any one of those three, Gallup, Cooper, and Lamb, to be the best receiver on the team. And that's a nice place to be in. They're still really injured. Zach Martin played right tackle on the weekend. That guy's I didn't think I could love him more. He just played right tackle like it was nothing. I've gone from center to guard to tackle before at the shittest level of football you could ever imagine. And it's really different going from guard to tackle. It is a very different position. Interior to tackle is hard. It's a hard adjustment. He did it like you could have told me he played right tackle his whole career. Now, he did it in college. I know that. He played left tackle in college, actually. But I don't know. I was really impressed with the win. The defense, funny, you get a guy like Leighton Vander Esch over my shoulder here. You get him back healthy. He makes a huge difference. There was a hit in the hole on the goal line with Dalvin Cook. I don't know if you saw it, Rich, but he hit Dalvin Cook. They hit at full speed, and he stoned Dalvin Cook in the hole. Now, Cook ended up scoring the next play, but just seeing what Leighton Vander Esch has gone through with injuries the last couple of years, he's going to be able to be doing that stuff again. He makes Jalen Smith better. We got a Awuzie back at corner, which makes a big difference. What kills me is the defense is kind of starting to, become mediocre, not the worst in the league. They're just kind of middle of the pack now, maybe a little bit worse, which is way better than what they were. Yet we don't have Prescott or an offensive line. This season's going to be the one that I sit back and go, imagine if we didn't have all these injuries. This could have been a huge year for them. But they did have the injuries.
If you just looked at straight talent, I had them going to the Super Bowl. So, I thought they were extremely talented. At least I got a get out of jail free card with that pick. The interesting thing is, if you look at the Cowboys versus the rest of the East, they've scored more points than anyone else in the East, but they've also given up more points than anyone in the East. And I think that's the story of this team, that when you had Prescott, obviously he was setting all those numbers because he had to. It was no choice. But I do think they're starting to even out. The hardest thing is, this, I can make a case for every team in the East and how they're going to win. It's insane.
I did a poll on Twitter and a question on Facebook. About 15,000 people saw our post. More comments I've ever had on anything on the NFC East. A lot of the comments were, who cares? I can tell you who cares. The fifth seed.
Tampa do.
Because I would say there are not many teams that would want the Cowboys. I don't think they would, because if that offense gets hot and CeeDee Lamb starts doing what he was doing and Amari Cooper and Ezekiel, we still haven't mentioned Ezekiel. Ezekiel is now the fourth guy you mentioned on this offense, and he's just first time he ran for 100 yards all year in this game. He's still a great running back. It's
because the defense had to back off a little bit.
Yeah. So
versus the last few weeks.
Yeah, I just if I'm a fifth seed, I want a Philly. I want an Eagles. I want a Giants. I don't want a Cowboys offense coming in. I don't want to go into Dallas and play that offense, because the Cowboys can still put up 30 points. I don't think any other offense in that division can put up 30 points.
It's the Cowboys and the Giants I don't want to face as a 5 seed.
Giants are a good defense. They're a strong team. I think the Giants will win it, personally.
Well, we were talking about that last week. Here's the thing, though. So they've all played 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
What is the winning record? They're all, well, except for the Eagles who played for a draw and now might actually pay off.
You ready? It's 6-10.
I think it's 6-10 too, unless it's the Eagles, and then it's going to be 6-9-1.
6-9-1. Sorry, yeah. I can't see any team winning more than 50% of their games, because they all play each other too. They've all got to play each other.
Well,
there was a great comment with who gets to play the Bengals more. That's what someone said, because someone's still got the Jets and the Bengals in their schedule. I'm pretty sure it's the Giants.
Well, it's not you guys, because you've got the football team.
We haven't played the Jets yet. I'm certain.
Bengals, the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Giants. You mustn't play the Jets.
No, we might not play the schedule. I thought we played the Jets. Yeah, so we've still got the Bengals, which without Joe Burrow, anyone should be beating. They shouldn't win a game this year without Joe Burrow.
Well,
it's going to come into the division.
You've got 3 division games, and I think everyone's still got 3. I'm just checking 1.
If the Cowboys win on Thanksgiving this Friday, they will they'll win the division. If they beat Washington this Friday, I think that'll roll them home. I think that'll give them a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence.
Oh, it's the Giants. Giants have got they've only got the one division game left against you guys. Their run's hard. So they've
lost to us already as well.
And they had a bye this week. So they got Cincinnati this week.
Win.
But then they've got to go to the Seahawks.
Loss.
Host the Cardinals.
Loss.
Host the Browns.
Loss.
Go to the Ravens.
Loss.
And host the Cowboys.
Let's give them the Cowboys. That's 2. I'm being nice. Let's give them the Cowboys. That's 2 wins max. I can see them having. They're only on 3 wins now, aren't they?
I don't think that'll be enough.
And then who you got Washington having?
I actually think Washington have got one of the harder. Well, I mean, they're all hard because they all suck. But they got the Cowboys this week.
Yeah.
Then they got the Steelers.
Let's say they don't win that because they beat the Cowboys earlier. So let's split the divisions.
Well, here's the problem. They got which is a road game, then 49ers, which is a road game.
I don't think they beat the 49ers.
Then they host the Seahawks.
Lose.
Host the Panthers, who are frisky as.
Yeah, I'll give them the Panthers. I'll give them because it's a 50.
Okay. And then they finish with the Eagles.
Did they lose to the Eagles? They've lost the Eagles. So I'll give them the Eagles as well to split the division games. That's still only 2. And then what have the Cowboys got? Washington this week, which I'll give them that win because I took it from Washington.
Washington this week.
Yep.
Then you got the Ravens.
Loss.
Cincinnati.
Win.
49ers at home.
I'm going to win. I'm going to give them that at home.
Cool. Then you got the Eagles at home.
Well, they lost to the Eagles, so let's say we split like everyone else, and then they lose to the Giants. So
Giants on the road.
I reckon they've got 4 more wins up them. The 49ers one's the one that I'm unsure about. That could go either way. Because the 49ers would be winning our division right now. Keep that in mind.
Here's the thing. This is why I think the Eagles are screwed. Because they got to play the Seahawks, Packers, and Saints.
3 losses there. And then the Cowboys once, which we're saying because it's a split.
Then they got the Cardinals. So they're probably going to lose their next 4 games. Then they finish with the Cowboys and Washington.
So even if they win those last 2 games, they might not. They could be done anyway.
It's not going to be enough. So I really think.
I know this is what the divisions do, though. Like, how excited was I yesterday when the Cowboys won? I shouldn't be excited about my team winning their 3rd game for the year in week 12. I shouldn't be excited about that. But I want them to win the division. I want them there. Who cares?
As I said on our Monday morning text thread, this is why divisions make it so exciting. People are like, oh, the division sucks, rah, rah, rah. But it's alive. Those 4 teams are alive. If they were in any other division in the AFC, they'd be last. Every single one of those teams would be last in any other division in the NFC. But because they're all in the same one, it's alive and it still matters. It's still exciting to see the results, and their games matter. There's only been 1 team eliminated this year. That's the Jets. That's it.
Yeah.
10 games in out of a 16-game schedule, 1 team eliminated. That's why the NFL has the balance so right.
And that's why come week 16, 17, most teams are still having something to play for.
Yeah. If nothing else, you're seeding.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's move on. NFC is so wild. It's the most wild, crappy division I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Super entertaining. I love it.
Let's talk about other good divisions. Indy, Maron. Indy come flying back to beat the Packers. That was in Green Bay as well, wasn't it? It was in Green Bay. Great win by Indy. To keep the division tied with the Titans, they now move up. Like I bet you they were hoping Baltimore could get the job done against the Titans, but they're now tied with them still. They're half a game up because they've got the head-to-head. I thought 2 weeks ago the Colts were dead. I was really worried about them. Phillip Rivers was struggling. We were kind of thinking, Phillip Rivers is great against bad teams, but, when he plays some good teams, he's not going to be able to do anything. But he is able to do things. And their defense is really, really good. Darius Leonard is the best running back, the best line. He probably would be the best running back if he wanted to play there. He's the best linebacker in the NFL. I think one thing that's been kind of undersold was their trade for DeForest Buckner last year. He's been outstanding, DeForest Buckner. And he's one of those guys, I talked about the Akeem Hicks factor last week. He's a guy like that. Like he doesn't destroy the stat board, but when you watch him, it's like, who is that guy just dominating the inside of that line. He's really good. Julian Blackman, the rookie, he's in line for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's fighting it out with your boy Anton Winfield, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm buying the Colts. And you know what? I think they're going to the playoffs. Whether it's a wild card or the division, they're in the box seat for a playoff race. They're going to have to really fall apart. But yeah, I'm impressed. Packers, you're going to have games like this. I think I'm not worried. Everyone's saying, "Oh, I see Aaron Rodgers." Aaron Rodgers still played really well in this game. Their defense has got some issues. They literally can't stop the run. They really struggle in that area. Did you see the fumble, Phillip Rivers fumble that went back for a touchdown that would have basically given the Packers the game? What'd you think?
When I saw it live, I kind of felt like, yeah, that's a fumble.
I think it could be either way, but all I know is called a fumble live, and they never overturn something that close. So I don't know how they overturned it. Like, what do you say when you're looking at a thing? You need the evidence to overturn it, not to prove what it is. It could be, if it's 50-50, you called it that.
It stays with the call on the field.
You need to prove that it's not what happened, and I don't think it did.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's out." But that was just my initial reaction. So, I mean, when you look at it 1,000 times on slow-mo, it's just going to, when it's so line ball like that, it's only going to influence your bias. So whatever you thought it was, you're probably going to stick with it unless it's that classic thing, unless you've got overwhelming evidence to overturn it, which, as you rightly point out, I don't think there was.
No.
So I don't know. It's every year, your team will be on the wrong end of one of those during the season.
100%.
Always. It just happens that way.
This isn't going to make Packers fans feel any better, but you got bone. You know what? Go and ask the Oakland Raiders how they feel about it in 2003.
Go ask the Saints about those pass interferences and those sorts of things. So
I still see that and get annoyed, and I'm not a Saints fan in the slightest. I can't imagine how Saints fans feel about that one. That was the Super Bowl.
Just be happy, Pack fan, you got it now. It could have been in a playoff game.
Yeah, and you know what? They're 7-3. They're fine. 7-3, losing a close game in overtime to a good team. I don't think
they're two games clear in their own division. Yeah. And if by some miracle the Bears go on a tear and pass them, which I don't think they will, but let's just say they did.
What chance the Vikings doing it?
Well, the Vikings aren't doing it now.
No.
Oh, how good was Phelan's catch? Sorry, just popped in my head.
The receiver playing that game there was just non-stop.
It was great. We skipped over CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. We talked about how good he was. That catch was insane. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was great. Anyway, coming back, even if the Bears go on some sort of tear and the Packers keep winning enough games, they're on 7-3 right now, which is a game in hand over the Bucks, the Bucks and the Seahawks, who are in the 2 wild card spots right now. So they're fine. Like, Pack fans, just chill. You're okay. Let's just hope when it gets to playoffs, you get to host one. It's obviously going to help up there in Lambeau. The season is going to be playoffs are later this year because of the COVID schedule. It'll be colder. I think they'll be fine.
Do you know what, though? Minnesota aren't out of it.
I didn't say they were out of it. I just said it's going to be hard. Chicago
are 5-5 right now. They're the 7 seed. Like, San Fran can still, they're 4-6. San Fran, Detroit, Minnesota, Carolina. Or Carolina are 7 losses. That'll be tough. I don't think 9-7's winning it. I think you probably need 10.
You need 10 in the NFC this year.
You know, they're all alive still.
So I wasn't saying, I was speaking the division, not wild card. Like, I really do think the Pack are home.
They're going to get an easy win. They're going to get an easy first week game, though. Like, whoever's the second seed in the NFC is going to get an easy first week.
I don't know if you remember, but pre-season, I said the Pack and the Vikings would tie that division with the Packers winning it on a tiebreaker, but I had them with only 9 wins. So I actually think this division is going to form. Yeah. You know, so that's only 3 more. It's only 2 more wins the Packers need, really. I think they'll win the division with 2 more wins. Now, I think they'll get more than that, but I think that's all they'd actually need.
And a loss like this can also help a team at this point. You know, give them that little ramp up they need. Let's move on. This is a game me and you have been waiting to talk about. We had a lot of messages back and forth. Raiders and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. How good is it having the Raiders back as a good team again? It's fun. John Gruden, they're fun. They're very creative. I don't want to talk Chiefs too much. Chiefs are awesome. They're 9-1. They're one of the best teams in the AFC with the Steelers. They're unbelievably good. Mahomes is a freak show. He's the best passer of the football I have ever seen. He's the MVP. I've covered off all the Chiefs talk. I want to talk Raiders, and I want to specifically talk Derek Carr. Last 2 seasons, that guy has been destroyed. And we can sit here with a very, very free conscious Richie because we have loved him. We have done nothing but basically backed him up and said, nah, he's a good player, give him time. His game on the weekend was out. He threw a pick at the very end. Like he was just throwing it up. He had to try and win.
He had to.
That was the only blemish in his stat sheet. He was outstanding. And if you'd watch this game and watch the way he performed, what was the play, Richie, where he got to his 4th read on a
first off, he changed the play at the line or called some sort of audible. He may not have. It might have been a dummy call. But he literally, you saw him, boop, boop, boop. He went through all of them and hit a receiver in stride down the middle of the field.
That's a good quarterback.
He is playing so well. Like I think I said to you, like he is seeing everything right now. Like, he is playing great, and like I am enjoying this. I forgot, like he was on MVP pace when he broke his leg, and their whole season fell apart. I don't know what it is about, because you want the Raiders to be good because they're in that 4:00 slot all the time. So you see their games all the time being Australians. And it's just better when the NFL is better when the Raiders are better. Like it really is. And
there's some good stories.
Gruden's doing a good job. They got a really good running game.
Struggled with
playing. Yeah, they did. But it's a pretty good team they went up against.
Yeah, very good. We were talking about Jonathan Abram as well, the safety. He's just a different dude. Like I know he's a bit of a dick. Like he's just that sort of
he is a bit of a dick.
And we saw it on Hard Knock. Like he's a bit of a character, but one thing I'll say to him is he'll never die wondering. He plays hard all the time, and they're football players. Like we all know I love watching Jamal Adams. Like those sorts of guys just play hard and fast all the time. I think he's really fun to watch, and he brings that defense some excitement. This is a team that has been unwatchable the last few years, remember? Unwatchable, like laughing stock. Like, he's turned this team around, and there are some, there's some stories on this team. Like, Nelson Aguilar was just thrown out of the Eagles because he dropped a couple of passes. He's really
he never came on. He was a first-round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and just got cast to the side like he was nothing. Again, he's turning it around. He's having a good year. Darren Waller, his story is very well known. Drug addict, rehab, now one of the best tight ends in the league. Hunter Renfrow, the guy that no one wanted him. No one thought he was good in the draft. Everyone laughed at them for drafting Hunter Renfrow. They laughed at the Raiders. Henry Ruggs, a guy, again, he didn't have a great game this week, but I can see the potential. I can see the ability there. But there's a guy who, everyone laughed when they took him the first pick. I did. I thought. Now, it might still pay off that it was a bad pick because Judy, CD Lamb, looked to be really good. And Jefferson. They were the kind of
it was such a good receiver draft.
It's a great draft, and everyone knew it was going to be, except for the Packers. I don't. I just do you reckon the Packers are just killing themselves? They could have had Justin running around for it.
No, they're not, because they think they're smarter than everyone else.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, you're not. But they're fun. And they lost this game. Jason Witten got the go-ahead touchdown late on just a pretty route to the DN trying to cover him. Jason
it was
Witten
pretty good.
Had to struggle to get separation from a defensive end. But you know what?
He's cooked.
As Witten has always done, when that ball's in the air and it gets to him, he catches it. Because he's got the second most receptions in tight ends ever. And you know what? It was a big play and they got around him. I loved it. I love Witten. Everyone knows how I feel about Jason Witten. But it was awesome. So Raiders, I think we're already penciling them in as a playoff team. They've still got some work to do. But I think the way they're playing, they're the only team that have beaten the Chiefs in the past calendar year, Richie. They're the only loss the Chiefs have had this year, including the end of last season. So awesome stuff by the Raiders. If they take that energy and that play into every game, every team they play, I think they're going to be a playoff team. And they're going to be a playoff team again, that 5 seed that everyone's going, I don't want to play the Raiders. I don't want the Raiders coming into us. Like they're a good team. So it'll be fun. Let's get to the last game. Your Bucks, Richie. Monday Night Football. This was a good game of football. I enjoyed it. it was a good game. Jared Goff, they couldn't run the ball. The Bucks just said,
threw it over 50 times.
They basically said, you want to run the ball? Have fun. We're going to... And Ndamukong Suh was just on a heater. Like, not only was he just punching offensive linemen, he was going off. When he's like that, though, I can't help but enjoy it. He's that defensive lineman that everyone wants on their team, just a bully. He controlled the game. We've discussed Devin White in the past and how good he is. He's a different dude out there. But unfortunately, it was Brady who threw a pick on a game-winning drive. They struggled all day passing the ball. Evans had an outstanding touchdown early, and then they basically said, we're going to put Jalen Ramsey on you for the rest of the game and have fun. It's amazing a guy like Jalen Ramsey, everyone's like, I can't believe the Rams defense is this good. They're a top 5 defense. You go back and look at Ramsey's career, every team he's played on when he's healthy have been a top defense. The Jaguars, top defense when he was healthy for them. The Rams, when he's healthy and played the whole year, one of the top defenses. He's a very good football player, and that sort of guy makes a big difference to a team. He's certainly right up there for defensive player of the year for me this year. He's making a hard push home. But it was a good football game. In the end, he played well.
And the thing about Ramsey is he's a whinger though, so you love it when he gets scored on. Like it's just great.
When he got the PI call in the left of the end zone, like if you'd taken the PI yardage, Evans had 150 yards receiving, but it doesn't work that way. Especially for my fantasy, I need 8 more points from him to win. So see to that touchdown, but he didn't. But Evans is a good player, and Ramsey went toe to toe with him. So that was enjoyable. But it was a good game of football. I don't think the Bucks are winning the division, but it's not all doom and gloom. As we just said about Tampa, about the Packers being 7-3, the Bucks are still 7-4. They probably only need 3 more wins to lock up the 5 seed, maybe 4 more wins. So
4 would definitely do it.
11 wins.
I think they've got enough left, and then with any luck, you get to play the team out of the East. So that gets you in the week 2 of the playoffs. So
unfortunately, that like Seattle, Rams, Arizona, or the Bucks, one of them will have to one of them will not win a division and get a wild card, or 3 of them will get a wild card. Like, it's pretty incredible. They're all 7-3 or 7-4 right now. One of them is going to have to go to Green Bay in the first playoff game and probably lose. So, which sucks because they're all good teams. But the NFC West, just touching on the Rams, hot division, tied at the top at 7-3, all 7-3.
Yeah,
that
Cards are a game back.
Yeah, I think all those teams are going to be playoff teams. But I just said there's a chance that the 49ers, I'm sure they all play the 49ers again, or at least a couple of them do. That's going to be, the 49ers are a chance to get that. They will still be sitting there going, we can get the 7 seed here. Like, we're a chance still. Because all the good teams.
The NFC West conference games, I think, are backloaded because the Seahawks finished with the Rams and the 49ers as their last 2 games.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure everyone's the same. Yeah, so the Rams finish Seahawks and Cardinals. They've also got the Cardinals and the 49ers in the next 2 weeks. So the Rams have still got 4 division games left. Yep. What are the Cards? How many have they got left? 1, 2, 3, including the Rams twice. So, yeah, there's still plenty of good football to be played in the West. They've all got at least 3 conference games. So it's going to be a really interesting run home for that division as to who can take it, because it's pretty much there for anyone. I think it's funny. The 49ers there's still some, it'll be a long shot, but there's a chance at a playoff spot, especially with the extra slot this year.
I think the quarterback play might hurt him there. We've got to remember.
Yeah, but I think,
I know.
I think the division's gone for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a great run home, the NFC West. Just before we finish up, just a reminder, this week is Thanksgiving. So 3 games on Friday, so I hope you're not doing anything on Friday. I hope work's not busy.
Don't bother getting up early because the Lions game is first. That's awful. That's a terrible game.
Well, so people are going to go, why would they give them the game? Every year, 3 teams get Thanksgiving. Lions, Cowboys, Steelers. They're the 3 teams. and the other teams just get scheduled in. So the Lions always get a Thanksgiving game because they feel sorry for the Cowboys because they're the biggest loser team.
No, it's because they got it. So traditionally, it was always the Lions. Then the Cowboys managed to somehow get in. And are you sure it's always the Steelers? I thought that last game was.
I thought it was. I could be wrong.
In the air. I might be wrong too. I don't know.
I've been wrong before, Rick. I don't know if you've heard.
But it was always traditionally the Lions at 1 p.m. and the Cowboys at 4 p.m.
Yeah. So you got Texans at Lions. Don't bother getting up. 4:30 a.m. But 8:30 a.m. you've got football team at Cowboys. That might not be good teams, but that is the hottest game of the week in quarter division. And then your 12:20 game, you've got Ravens at Steelers. It's a great 2 games on the back end.
Well, the big thing of Australians is they're a little later than they normally are. Sorry, I had that wrong. They used to be in the traditional slots, but as the years have gone on, they've slowly been pushed back. So, yeah, that Steelers-Raven games, that is a full hour later than the late game normally kicks off in Australia. So
No. They're 12:20 now, the late games.
Are they all 12:20?
It was only from last week, daylight savings hit. So they're 5, 8, and 12:15 or whatever it is, 12:20. So, yeah, awesome for your Friday. What that does do, though, Richie, is it makes Monday better because now you've got the Monday night games, Eagles, Seahawks, the Sunday night games, Bears, Packers, but then you've got only 3 games in the late slot.
Yeah, there's 8 early and 3 in the late slot.
8 at Broncos and 9 at Rams. And then you've only got 5 in the early spot. So if you're watching Game Pass, it's a lot, like really 3 games.
There's 8. There's 8 games in the early slot.
Oh, I missed the other 3 in between the
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's 8. There's 8 early, 3 late. I always think the NFL had this wrong. There should always be more late games. They get it wrong all the time.
Yeah, but either way, you get the 3 red zone games. If you've got 3 games on red zone, you basically see all 3 full games. It's a great 4s. You miss a bit, but only 3. You will get to see all 3 of those games if you've got red zone. So make sure if you've got red zone, you need to go get NFL Game Pass. I think it's on sale for half price at the moment.
Yes, they're having a Black Friday sale for the rest of the year.
Yeah. But that's it. That's it for the show, guys. Again, thank you to Burnley Brewing for bringing the beer. Absolutely delicious draft tonight. Richie, I do have to drop off a couple of boxes for you, so I'll make sure that happens.
Yes, you do.
Guys, bit of a change from next week. Due to restrictions easing, this great studio that I set up behind me that is basically a table in a corner right now will be getting used again. DJ, Julio, back in the studio next week. Now, Richie can't come to studio because he has a baby and a wife that works nighttime. So he will be there every now and again. But what will happen from now on is it'll be an alternate. So we'll have DJ and Jules in studio for next week. And then me and Richie back on here for the week after. Don't worry, for the big shows, prediction show, Super Bowl show, all that sort of stuff, we'll make sure we all get in the room together. But yeah, that's the plan. So Richie, we won't see you next week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. So enjoy. What are you going to do with all your time off, Richie? With all your, with all the spare time?
Oh,
you gonna see the world?
Maybe. I wish. No, I don't know what I'll do with it. Probably sit around watching TV, which is what I do with it now.
Maybe we'll go live next week, and you can just watch it anyway. You can just enjoy the.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We'll do that. We'll go live just for you in a private group, so you can just be there and just badmouth us as we go. But one of the things we're doing next week is Jules and DJ have been really polite, and all the things I gave them shit about early in the preseason. One that's come to mind is that me laughing at DJ for saying Justin Herbert was a generational talent. They want to bring it up and just hammer me about everything I got wrong that they were right about. So that'll be fun. Knowing them, they'll only be able to think of 2 of them because they're morons. So challenge, take the challenge, boys. I'm looking forward to it. That'll happen next week. Breaking News Memorabilia. Look out for the Gronk helmet. It is on its way. And look out. Remember, if you want to get into the first break, you've got till the end of November to sign up so you can get into the end of November Patreon break on the page. Again, it's $10 a month for a chance to win a signed authentic Speed Authentic helmet. Those helmets alone, Richie, you sell them. They're about a $500 helmet on their own without a signature on them. So
I don't know what a Speed Flex is. I've never heard of it before.
You've never heard of a Speed Flex?
No. But what's that? Riddle make that? Never heard of them.
Isn't it shut?
Oh.
All my helmets are right hell. I didn't even know.
Except for your Australian one.
My Australian one just down there. That's got some things in it too. Thank you, American Samoa. But Richie, if you did want to not get a Rydell helmet, you wanted to get a shut helmet, where would you?
I'd probably go to ussportsgear.com.au.
Funny, that's where I'd go too. They're outstanding. Great service, great prices, best customer service in Australia. Go and hit up our man R Garraway for if you need to bring a helmet in. But helmets. Authentic helmets. These are helmets you could wear in a game. They're a $500, $550, $600 helmet that you'll be getting without the signature. So if you really wanted to, you could buy it, scrub the signature off, and just have a helmet of the team. So it's pretty cool. So get on board with the Patreon, and thank you to Breaking Oz Memorabilia. We absolutely love your work, guys. They're also doing their massive breaks at the moment. There are some cool helmets in there. I think it's 2 spots for $75, but there's a chance to win like an Eclipse Tom Brady Bucks helmet. There's an Eclipse Patriots Tom Brady. If you pull a helmet like that in a break, that's a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 helmet to a collector. So they're a big collector's thing. So get in there, support them, join them on Facebook. All the descriptions, links, everything are in the description of the podcast or on the social media posts. However, go and find them. Breaking Oz Memorabilia. I think that's it, Rich. Thank you, mate. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks.
Speak to them, buddy.
See you, mate.